are the only crew, TV crew, or the first TV crew. You let us enter here, so thank you for that. And Marcel, we met because of this little baby here, this GTR engine.
My little baby.
My little, yeah, of course. But let's start from the very beginning, because maybe not many people know you were developing also the GM engine, right?
Yes, I'm the first GM rider in 1982, and then we working in Germany for Otto Lampenhammer. I learned much in this time, and we're working in this time for many top riders around over the world. And the year after, Egon Müller win the championship with the GM, and this go up with the GM on the market.
And also the Lion engine was also kind of your development, yeah, for the common speedway now.
Yes, I make this for lay down engine for long track. I'm a long track rider in this time. And always I'm looking what I can do is working better for me. Maybe I'm never the best rider, then I was looking for I have better engine, better frames, for it's working good for me. And then in 1990 I come in with the first lay down, then I make the swinging front fork, and yeah, the year after coming more and now is standard in the speedway.
How the idea was born of this little baby here? Let's start from the idea. How it was born? What was like the main point you said, okay, I will do my own?
I have this idea for a long time in my head for my sometime engine. And 5 years back, I start more and more to push my idea. 4 years back, I start with thinking which concept I must go. Then, the base of the idea, I must make an engine to have a longer life, running better, and less service cost. When we're looking now, a classic speedway engine must go too early for a service. This is normal, it's egal which product. And when you see in the motocross, the people can ride hours for hours for hours. And then I was thinking I must make all in this way, for engine with a modern lubrication system, with a modern head for concept from the cylinder head. And the speedway engine, we have methanol. This coming from the 20s, when the engine have no ribs, is from casting, iron casting, and the boys ride with methanol. But methanol keep the engine a little bit cooler. Now we have the same level from the power. We see the result on the track. The life is longer. We have a lubrication system with the classic oil pump is inside here. Then we have an oil filter here. We can change after 5 meetings. Then the engine have always clean oil. We bring the oil over 2 pistons. Over 2 jets to the piston for lubrication and cooling. We have the oil in the top. We have the clean oil to the big end, and this helps for the life is long. Always we have clean oil for the lubrication. And the oil is not only lubrication, it's for cooling. This is why it's important you give oil to the piston. This helps for lubrication and take the temperature to the oil. And it's normally a normal 4-stroke engine concept in lubrication.
Okay, and what about the physical differences? Because, you know, in the GM engine, we've got an offset engine, we've got a baby engine, we've got a big corn rod, short corn rod. What about this one?
This one is like a baby engine. It's with 152mm corn rod. It's offset, it's 8mm offset. We start the design for all this. All the other products have in the beginning a longer corn rod, then modification to the shorter, then modification to the offset, and we start on the true complete in this way. While you can see not straight from the outside is offset or it's a baby. And I make only this.
you said what is the main difference inside of it, but the second difference is always the camshaft.
This is why the head looking a little bit longer and higher than a single cam head, but it's a twin cam head. Have two cams inside, and this concept is with finger, it's a finger follower head. And the idea for I make this head, you have never problem with when you over rev the engine. But the concept from the head is working to 15,000 revs. The rest from the engine is not working on a 500cc engine working to this level of revs. But then we stay always on the safety side with the cylinder head, and the life is much, much longer from the head.
Andreas Jonsson jest na kole. Fredki Lindgrena, który tutaj jako jedyny jedzie na silnikach Gerharda.
Freddie Lindgren is a rider that we know officially is using only your engines.
Yes.
He switched. Of course, the other guys, we know that we've heard about the interview with Janusz Kołodziej, who was testing it. He bought some engine to test. We know Doyle used this in the Extraliga meeting. But you said one thing off the camera. 65 races, and Freddie comes with this engine to the Grand Prix
Yes.
Warsaw, yeah?
65 heats.
Heats, yeah.
And go to the first heat in Warsaw.
But it's impossible. How did you manage to achieve this
No,
goal?
it's different things. One is with the lubrication system. Then the head stands more stable with this concept, with the finger follower and the twin cam. And the next is my engine working with a revs limiter.
Oh, the revs limiter.
Yes, then I can make this by 13,000 or 13,500. I think 13,500 is for me, is good enough. It's only not on the track can come in the limiter, it's only on the start. When you have a rider with absolute full gas starter, then the limiter is coming. And the engine cannot go higher, and this is saved to make the life longer. A limiter you have in all other sports. You have in the normal road cars, on the bike on the road, you have a revs limiter, so nobody can kill the engine.
I've been racing the GTRs all year this year, and it's been working really good for me, and you know I really feel comfortable on this engine, and have great help from Marcel Gerard, the founder of the engine as well. So it's been working good with the GTR.
So can we look inside of it?
Yes, no problem.
And Marta, during we are strapping the engine, of course we cannot forget about Joachim Kugelmann.
To make some machine work, when we make the cam, all help me much. You can make the cam, always in the short time.
At the end of 2009 we have the idea to make this two-valve ice racing engine, and this was almost the time where I spent a lot of time at his place, and he was here often. And then we was doing the two-valve engine based on the GM crankcase with my own two-valve head, and this was almost the beginning of the story.
You said that sometimes your family is not even surprised that Marcel, after the many hours in the workshop, can be easily sleep on the couch at Kugelmann house.
Yeah, no one is surprised here because we did so many things together. I learned a lot of him. He helped me in difficult times also because Marcel Gerhard is a person, he definitely knows what is going on in a four-stroke single engine. And sometimes when it was the plan, he'd turn up at 4 o'clock afternoon or even 2 o'clock, and we said we are done at 8 o'clock, so we was done at 2 o'clock at night. So I say, Marcel, okay, have a sleep here, and next day we carry on. Marcel and also myself, we are not see only the speedway engine, we have done a lot of different things. If it was for the supermoto, if it was a couple of KTMs for the World Championship in supermoto and also motocross. And then you see the differences from one to the other, and it was almost his idea to make these, to get this system into the speedway. We was talking a lot about this, often and often, but on the end he started the project himself, and I helped him almost with the prototype, with parts to get the prototype running.
So this is the famous camshaft we were speaking about, yeah?
Yes.
And to develop it, it took you 1.5 years to find the right solution.
Yeah, for the perfect profile.
In this one we have one cam, and this one camshaft have to work for exhaust and intake. On the single cam is one cam for intake and the other for the exhaust.
The plus from this twin cam, we can move the cam. Not only one, we can move two, this position or in this position. You can playing much.
But two on the same time, or we can just regulate one or
No,
leave it
you can
second?
only move one, or
Okay.
you can do the other, or then you can make the valve timing what you like. Already have 4 engines. All is the same. Only one have a different valve timing. And we make this special for Daugavpils. Daugavpils always is a super slick track.
Yeah, of course.
And we make this test in Mako, and we find out when we move to this side, it's working better when it's slick. Then it's more easy. The engine, the base from the engine is working for this super slick track, and the rest going over jetting and ignition. On this machine we make nearly all parts from the GTR. But this is the 5-axle CNC machine, special for make the work on the head, when you must make the porting and turn. It is a very important machine. The same on the crankcase, but the time to make already is short on this machine, and it's very good quality of the pressing.
Yeah, I have a long-term relationship with Marcel. He's a good friend. I was riding motocross in the years before. I did road racing, and then we know each other since many years. And I always was interested in what he's doing, because he's really an enthusiastic engine engineer and is always deep in the engine. And one time we say, okay, it would be nice to have a nice engine, and we make some first drawings and sketches and ideas, and we make a prototype, even a running prototype. And we said, okay, let's go for it. And he has found a way to finance the thing in the first part, and then we start with our designer to design the engine. This is our core business, and for sure we have a very strong engine design capacity.
I'm the first we're coming from the speedway to him. Before Eskil is only on the road racing, on the motocross, supermoto, and when we start the design and all, Eskil coming to the Prague GP, coming to Torun, and for seeing what happened. All the rest I must bring into the factory.
Basically, we took all the experience gained in the last 20 years, and we benchmark what is the current status of the speedway engines. So Marcel brought the state of art and just told us how the engine runs, what is current, the figures. We analyze them together. We analyze what would be our proposal, and then we draw the engine together. Basically, every single point has been discussed from the point of view of the blank sheet of paper. So we didn't have to make compromise. We just decided to go for what we feel is the best possible technical solution, and always discussing with Marcel what we think about that one and the application of the speedway in this specific world.
The secret company is like a producer of the engine. Idea is from Marcel, and some secrets are here. Make everything here.
This is right, because the main production of the engine is definitely Studer, and I would say they're doing a very, very good job. Almost the engine is Swiss made. That's all good. But from time to time we have to do changes with cam profiles, and those little things to get it further. And for me was always an option to do this very quick and in time during a week, to are ready for next weekend if I have someone right on to test it. But this is right. All this cam production and the modifications was happen here.
This is the drive for the chain. We have two gears here, and the chain going from here to the cams. Behind here is a gear for the oil pump. But behind, inside this gear, sitting the oil pump, suck the oil from here, bring over the complete engine to the piston, to the big end. Also first go over the filter. And before the filter we have this overpressure valve. This regulates the oil pressure. When we this not have, then the pump can go to 5-6 bar, and we must not have so much oil pressure. We're working from 3.5 to 3.8 by high revs. Then over the oil pump here, this is the gear from the oil pump. And behind sitting this Eaton oil pump. And you can see this on a crankcase. This sitting on this position. You can suck the oil from here over the pump, go over a hole here to the filter. For the hole we have these overpressure valves, and the filter sitting in here.
You see this oil pump, and this is like a thread from a screw where it's going through and going in to this hole. And this is where the oil going into the flywheel, coming left and right from the conrod out of it, and then it's going up to the engine. And this is not a bad system, but at this time where we are in the sport, with these high RPMs and more, it's maybe sometimes not enough. It works, it's good, but it's maybe sometimes not enough. We are talking about RPMs and living of an engine. And these RPMs we do have at this time where we are now in a speedway engine. It's like over 13,000, and the piston speed is much higher than in a Formula 1 engine.
We have 4 jets here, one inside. This is the lubrication for the cam to the finger follower, and outside cam the same.
Okay.
But we have not a roller on, this is only the cam touch direct with this little finger. Okay, this finger have a special DLC coating on, also you kill this never. When the factory delivery, we have no valve guide in, we have no valve seat in, the port is only casting. Also for make this head ready, I must make seat ring in, I must make handwork for make the ports ready in and X. Then I make the guide in, then I must go to the machine for make the valve seat.
And
when we make the work on the GTR, this head coming from the casting, go to the machine, make the machine work from the ports. This is all machine work, CNC. Then coming out from the machine, we make the valve guide in. This is the whole part here. The valve guide is without hole. Make the valve seat in. The head go back to the CNC machine, make the holes in the guide and the valve seat. And then now this is ready for I can building the engine. I must not touch the head with hand.
So the rider gets delivery with this, all of this?
Yes. When it's now I can make straight the valves in, the springs in. I must not touch the head from hand. Here you have minimum a half day handwork or the more to make the head ready. And with this concept, one head is like the other.
You must enjoy it because like it's 2 different projects, but you're still involved in 2 of them.
Yeah, you know, with the project with Marcel, and this was not an easy thing and it's difficult, but I was interesting to do something new, and I'm technical wise involved. I think since day one, because we did a lot of drawings by hand about the prototype and get this to go, and I was never sure if I was thinking, okay, a prototype is a prototype, but then Marcel processing this and pushed this really forward. And I was still always focused on GM because this is the business where me and myself are living from. And when you build something new, and I have this experience with the 2-valve, which was a good idea, it was working, but it was not really business. In this kind of sport, I'm talking about ice cream, right?
Yeah.
And then Marcel just put it forward, and now things going positive. And I think with Suter there is a professional partner on his side, and this will go his way.
That is also a good sign in the speedway sport, you know, to go in the same direction, because it's like a dirt bike, you know, motocross bike you can take out of the garage and go riding, refuel and put in the garage again, and 2 weeks later you can take it out and do the same again, and this you can do for 100 hours without a major overhaul. And this must be also the future of speedway, because then it's much more affordable, because you can buy an engine and do 20, 50 heats or 100 heats with the same engine without any performance loss. And today we have this technology to build the very high performance and keep the performance and reliability. And why make it more expensive if it's not necessary?
The first engine is running last year on the 1st April on my power station. 10 of April I go with Kevin Payton for testing to Macau in France. The engine ready. We different temps in, and then we have the first result not only from the power station, from the track, it's not too bad. Now in this place is much coming better, and this place much coming better. Not from the technical side, only from the setup, from the characteristic, from the mid-range power. In the beginning we have not enough, and we worked a complete year last year, and end of the season we stay in this place what we like it. And exactly in this time I started with testing with Freddy 2 times in France. After the first testing with Freddy, we go to England, and Freddy win this Olympic meeting in Wolverhampton. And then later, next month, later in December, we make one test more with Freddy. And then we pay for engine for this year. And yeah, it's working nice for him.
And last year was the other guy, Chris Bomber Harris?
Chris, with in Prague. Chris made the first heat with the GTR and the GP. We had 1 point. The first point, you must have sometime the first point.
Trzeci jest Chris Harris.
This helped us much, this testing. No, we make a contract with Harris for ride the complete year, only GTR. In the British League, in the GP, in some open meeting. And Chris is hard with the engine, super hard. And this helps us to see what is with
So he's
with
killing the engines, or
yes.
what does it mean he's
Yes.
hard with the engines?
Yes. Yeah. It's hard with revving hard on the start, and this helped me much for see how long is the life. You can see this not on the power station, only on the track. And now we understand the life. You can close the engine for minimum 70 heat. We have good springs in. Without the power go down. You see the result from Freddy. When the engine has 65 heat, can make 5, 6 heat, 7 heat more in the GP without problem. The speed is enough.
Kończy się ten bieg, kończy się bardzo mocnym akcentem Fredrika Lindgrena, który pokazuje dużą moc.
You can race, for example, like Fredrik Lindgren. He came to the first hit in Warsaw after 65 hits before. So this is impossible, to be honest, with the different kind of engines.
This is definitely very difficult for every other engine, if it's Java or GM, because both have the basic on the same lubrication system, and this will definitely making a big change. And I said always to my customers, latest after 40 heats we must do a service. And I hear from many other sites, they say service must be on 25 heats. So I say 40, but if Marcel says Freddy go out to heat 1 after 65 heats, I believe this, because this man was never telling me anything wrong before.
Ja, ich sehe schon eine positive Zukunft in dem, was wir jetzt machen. Joachim hilft mir so viel bei den Bikes, meine Motoren. Beim Fahren hat er mir auch viel geholfen, und er spielt schon die Zukunft. In Zukunft werde ich das fahren, was halt der Joachim für mich macht, weil er ist ja mein Tuner und er wird das Beste aus den Motoren rausholen. Und, ja.
The price from a GTR now is like on an expensive tuned GM. I cannot compare with the factory, but the GM factory, you cannot have an engine from the GM factory ready to race for win a GP or a heat in a GP.
Of course.
And My price is not cheap, it's not super expensive.
So it's like a kind of with the diesel engine with the car, yeah? You have to pay more, but it lasts longer.
Yes.
Kind
it's
of.
not a big difference, yeah. 100% is coming soon a manual, like what you have when you have a Honda engine, you have a book, what I was doing, which talks is for the head and all this. You pay this engine, it's your engine, you can open and close to like it. When you have the ID for change the setup, you can do this. We're living in 2016. All the people, like we have a nice mobile phone, we have not the old phone. Why we must go back with the technology and the engine? Better we're working with the last technology, only make this better, and their life is longer. And when you're looking at a bike, the speedway sport always is behind the other sports, while a speedway bike looking last 20 years is never changing. When you're looking in the motocross and the road racing, all coming new design and all, why we must not have a new design on the engine with the last technology and the longer life. Then on the end, the costs go down.